Right. So NoSQL database is basically not only SQL. So it is, you can say that NoSQL database, which is basically a fully managed database cloud service in OCI, and that is designed for various database operation, which requires a predictable and a very low latency response for even the simple queries. Okay. So that is where your NoSQL requirement is there, and it is also known as the not only SQL, and you can basically store data of various sizes and types there, mainly the unstructured data, the structured, the semi-structured, and the unstructured data. All that can be stored there. And NoSQL database is basically meant for the unstructured data. Okay, that is what the main criteria of the NoSQL Database Cloud Services, which let you to define the tables with rows of the JSON data types to store your unstructured data. Because unstructured data, you are basically going to store it in the JSON format, and that JSON format is going to support your unstructured data, which can be of any size, anything, anything, any format it can be. So those that is what where your NoSQL comes into picture. Okay, now let's talk about some of the features which are there. Okay, so these are like the NoSQL ecosystem, where you can store key value store. Okay, which is there. So even Oracle supports the key value store, like you can store it as a key and its value there. Even the Redis and the Amazon DynamoDB is there for that, as a all these supports the key value store. Document database store, MongoDB and Couchbase database, they are the document databases. Okay, MongoDB is quite famous for as a document based store. Column based store, then you have Cassandra, HBase, Bigtable, Google's Bigtable. These are like all the column based store. Then you have got a graph based database, graphical database as well, which is Neo4j. So these are like all the say data model, you can say, which are available, a key value store or the document based store. So depending on your requirement, what you want, you can basically follow that. So why you are basically going for the NoSQL? So one is like the data volume. So when your data volume is very high and also at a very high rate. So if you remember the basic concept of this big data, volume, velocity, and all. So that is where your NoSQL is giving you the base where you can store these high volume of data. Apart from that, the data which is getting generated with the very high rate, means the changes are very frequent, like your weather forecast. So weather every hour is changing, every half an hour. Like if you want to give the precision, so you are giving it hourly basis and all. So your data is changing, frequently changing. So the volume of data which it collects from various places, that basically defines and gives you the output. So high volume, high rate of data, then you can see that, okay, you want to have a response, quick response, like usually in the IoT, every second, every minute the data is generated, and with those data the response time expected is pretty low. Like if there is, suppose I have put it in an industry, some IoT for say a level where till where the boiler should switch off. If my response time is not high, it can lead you to the disasters. So that is where the high response time is needed. Your NoSQL gives you the NoSQL gives you a very high response time, and this response time is in milliseconds. You can expect that. Then you can run it anywhere. Like usually the NoSQL database, you can run it even on your on-premise as well, even on the cloud service as well. You can run your application anywhere. You can integrate it. So that because it can be accessible via APIs and all, so that's let's make it more flexible. Then you need high SLAs there, in case if anything happens or performance or anything is there, you need to have a highly available solution there. Elasticity, so whenever on demand required, like either on demand way or even like you have provisioned it as per your requirement, the elasticity option related to the storage, related to the performance should be there. Like on the fly you can add more storage, you can add more performance throughput there to your database as and when your load get increased. So that is basically where your requirement for the NoSQL comes into picture. So here you can see a example like big data use case, your daily weather, energy, geophysical, pharmaceutical, drug testing. So all these are the one where lots and lots of data is there. Stock market. So that how stock market works. In every second you will see ups and downs there. So you need to respond. You need to give that information. Your application should respond whatever you're associated with buying, selling, portal, and all. So that is where NoSQL plays a very important role, because if you see on the volume side, it is not exactly related. You have seen the volume in your normal Oracle databases. Okay, the volume here is high, at the same time it is changing as well. So the difference here between the SQL and the NoSQL, you can see here. So SQL databases are relational and NoSQL are the non-relational. So you don't have the key, and relational means you have got a foreign keys and the primary keys and everything there. So all the datas are related to each other. But in NoSQL, it is the non-relational data. So only a table is there where you are going to define the primary key, but it doesn't have got any dependency with other, table or any other NoSQL, tables available there. Uh, NoSQL is basically used to for your huge volume of data, and it allows you to scale out horizontally. Your your SQL databases, they basically scale up vertically. Okay, and it supports OLTP and the OLAP. These two are supported under the SQL. But when you come to the NoSQL, it has got more number of formats. So if we talk about the NoSQL, so it is basically a fully managed service, elastic in nature, gives you a predictable low latency performance, security, operating cost is low, supports, it is always available. Okay, from the maintenance side, we don't have to do anything on the NoSQL, like related to the backups, related to other stuff, how you are going to deal with it, how you are going to configure the DR for that. Everything is internally managed by Oracle. Okay, then what are the activities we are going to do? We have got option to load the data in that. Maybe that is where you are going to come. You can manage the performance there. From the developer point of view, we need to provide the connectivity details to the developer, that okay, these are the details, and they can put it in their code to connect to these database. It is not normally you are going to connect it using the SQL or something like that. So there is basically a format in which you need to provide the connection details, and they will be able to connect to it. And then authorization and the access control. So you have got your authorization control at the user credentials level, table level. You can, so this is all going to be controlled via your access, your policies you are going to create. Then you can even have an APIs there to control at the table level how you manage it. And at the compartment level, you can also control it using the depending upon your policies which you have. Okay, so that is all. You can have your access control and the authentication for the NoSQL services. Elasticity side, yes, you can scale up or scale down the throughput capacity, on demand. So how you are going to change it directly from the console, you can change it at any point of time. So that is a dynamic process, and you are going to pay only for the throughput which you have provisioned it. Or even you can have an API as well to change your throughput at the runtime. Like suppose if I am loading lot of data via application or something, okay, then I can just put it, to increase the throughput as well at that point of time. So that is going to save my money as well, because I am not keeping everything high right from the beginning, but whenever it is needed, I am just adding it via my code APIs and all. Or maybe I can use the leave it to Oracle, and dynamically it will be managed by Oracle. But yes, that is whatever I have provisioned it for, that only I will be paying. So I will be pay per table capacity. Okay, whatever the throughput I have selected, and whatever the storage I have selected, that is what I will be charged for. So read, write, and the storage, these are the three options through which I will be charged. Right, so this is what your developer view it is going to be. So if you see here, this is going to give you clarity as well. So this is my NoSQL Database Cloud Service, okay, where my tables are there. So if you see in the availability domain, they're all multiple copies are there for my table. So I have say 3 tables are there for as a NoSQL database service, and these are the one through which are running it as a clusters. So if you see, these are the NoSQL database instances which are running, okay, at the backend, and that is where these are my tables in the data center. So we don't have access to these things. Okay, these are like all Oracle managed. Then customer base applications, whatever is there, okay, that is going to be either the SDK drivers will be there, or even like your OCI drivers will be there. So this is like for my NoSQL SDK drivers, through which I will be downloading the drivers and making the connection with my application. So there are multiple drivers which are available. You can see for Java, for JavaScript, Python, .NET, Go, SDK, all these are available. So these are the one through which the connection to the application is done. Okay, apart from that, we also need to give the details what all is needed. And then you have got an Oracle SDK drive, OCI SDK drivers, which we have seen it in the past as well about the drivers. So you have got REST APIs, SDK for Java. So depending upon in which your application has been defined, you will be using those drivers, SDK for the NoSQL and for the SDK2. So if we see, a NoSQL database table, okay, so this is going to be say my NoSQL database table. Underlying my service is all managed by Oracle. My application which a user has created, okay, that or developer has created, that via driver is going to access this NoSQL database table, and the user is going to access the application, and I will be defined my capacity accordingly, write, read, and storage there. As an high level, this is what your application and the database connectivity is defined. So this is about the write and the read unit, as we have already seen. So throughput is like 1 kilobyte of data per second for the write operation. Okay, and it is calculated on the monthly basis. So you are going to say 2.67 million of writes per month. And the same thing on the read as well. So you are going to have 1 kilobyte of data per second for a read operation over a 1 month period. So for absolute consistency read, if you see, there are 2 read units which are used. So that way you need to basically define it. Okay, if I need a latest data there, then how I am going to use that. So that is where your complete from the design aspect you need to check.
So, guys, this was our expert from Team K21 Academy. And if in case you want to have a deeper dive or if you want to know about any more concepts discussed in details, then we have something really special for you. We have our free class on how to transition from Oracle DBA to cloud, including DBCS, ExaCS, ExaCC, MySQL, and whatnot. So all you have to do is just log on to k21academy.com /1z0109302. You'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to click on book your free seat now. Select your event date, your name, your email address, your phone number, and click on yes, save my seat. Moving ahead, you'll be seeing this kind of interface. You just have to save the link on the extreme right, add it to your calendars, and I'll see you in this free class. Till then, keep learning.